Lesson 3, Unit 2, Budget Management. Results-based budgeting is a planning and strategic management tool. It is a subset of results-based management. Organizations use results-based budgeting to align budget allocations with anticipated results. That means that budgets are allocated based on results rather than on inputs and activities. The applications of a results-based budget also means an increase in effectiveness, since resources are allocated based on what they are expected to produce. The key element becomes the cost of achieving the result rather than the price of specific inputs allocated to an activity or a project. By allocating budgets based on results rather than on inputs and activities, the goal is to ensure that the project is relevant to the needs of beneficiaries and results are being delivered in the most effective and efficient way possible. Relevance is a measure of the degree of influence a project has in achieving defined outcomes. Effectiveness is the extent to which a project outcomes were achieved or are expected to be achieved. And efficiency is a measure of how economically the resources or inputs such as funding, expertise, and time are converted into results. Organizations such as the United Nations, UNICEF, and UNDP are using results-based budgeting. It is a process in which resources are allocated based on the results to be achieved rather than by input categories. According to the United Nations, results-based budgeting is a process in which project formulation revolves around a set of predefined objectives and expected results. Expected results justify resource requirements which are derived from the outputs required to achieve such results. The actual performance in achieving results is measured by objective performance indicators. These organizations manage the resources based on expected results for the projects and strategies described in their strategic plans. There are significant differences between the current approach organizations use to budget resources and the one that focuses on results. For one, there is the focus on spending budget targets, donors and organizations demanding that the project uses all the assigned resources independent of the results achieved, instead of funding the results that matter. Budgets are assigned based on past budget performance and not on performance of results. Budget changes are made as a percentage across the whole budget instead of using performance results data, and budgets are audited based on compliance only, when they should also incorporate their effectiveness and efficiency in achieving results. The introduction of results-based budgeting in many organizations and government agencies respond to a larger need to increase transparency, efficiency, and accountability. It's also a key instrument for advancing the process of change towards a results-based management culture, and it's also a response to an increased public demand for accountability in the use of resources. These changes are also reflected in the way programs and projects are budgeted and how they are used. Result-based budgeting is also reflected in the way projects need to manage their budgets. Project managers are held responsible for producing the results with the resources they have requested and received. That means that project managers must shift the prime focus from not just meeting budget targets but also successfully delivering results. This approach means that project managers need a degree of flexibility in shifting inputs and activities to produce the expected results if they are to be held accountable for those results. Project results flow upwards to higher levels, from project, programs to country, regions, and organizational level. Just like project results feed the results at higher levels, project budgets are also linked to those results, making it possible to know the cost of achieving results at the different levels of the results framework. The organization can then know how much it costs to achieve a result at different levels, how efficient and effective was the use of those assigned resources. With this information, the organization can improve its results-based budgeting cycle by focusing resources on those projects and initiatives that deliver the intended results. In most organizations, the current practices with budget management don't allow the application of a sound budget management for results approach. Some of the problems that project managers face include an excessive focus on meeting budget targets. Project budgets are developed to meet donor accounting reporting needs, and the lack of performance measurement to link budget with results. Using the results change, one can see that the focus of the budget on inputs is limited. The project manager only knows the cost of the inputs, and its only measure is on the economy, keeping costs down in order to deliver the project under budget. On a results-based budget, the project manager has a wider view. He looks at the efficiency of transforming inputs to outputs and the effectiveness of achieving outcomes. An input-based budget looks at all the inputs the project will purchase, including personnel, consulting services, materials. This is a type of budget that organizes the costs under accounting codes. While it's useful for the development of financial reports, such as the balance sheets, it doesn't help understand what is the cost of an activity or the cost of a result. The project manager may know how much a project spent on consultants, but it doesn't know what was the cost to deliver a specific output. A results-based budget will organize the cost based on activities and outputs. Each activity will have a cost and they will be grouped by outputs. In this method, it's easy to find the cost of a result. Modern financial management systems are quite capable of organizing the budget information in such a way that satisfies the needs of both the accounting department and the project management. A results-based project budget can be structured similar to a results framework, helping identify the cost at each level. The sum of the cost of all activities shows the cost of the outputs. The sum of the cost of all outputs shows the cost of all outcomes. And the sum of all the outcomes shows the cost of the project goal. This approach puts all budgets aligned to the organizational results framework and its long-term objectives. A tool used for the regular monitoring of the project budget is the annual project budget execution plan that includes the budget for each activity and project deliverable. The plan usually breaks down the total project budget by month. This information is useful in many ways. It can help determine if the project is enough to deliver the intended results as planned. It helps identify deviations from actual expenditure versus planned expenditures and shows the actual cost of delivering the results. This plan follows the project schedule and shows the duration of each activity and the cost of the activities for each month. That way, the project manager can determine the cost for each month in the project and the cost for each activity and result in the project. The goal of budget management for results is not simply a matter of executing the approved budget, but of delivering the intended results. This change requires a robust monitoring system that can alert for potential deviations from the plan and the flexibility to make the necessary changes to the project activities and budget to ensure the project can deliver the results. For example, the project manager notices that two outputs are having different performance results. One has surpassed its target, but has not spent all of its budget, while the other has spent all of its budget and is still short of meeting its target. In result-based project manager, the manager can shift the resources and move funds from output 1 to output 2 in order to help it meet its target. The keys to an effective result-based management and budgeting system are strong performance management and accountability frameworks, as well as information systems that can capture the data needed for managing performance. Performance management frameworks should include clear incentives for managerial success in producing the results on which the budgets are based. Accountability frameworks must make clear the ways in which managers are to be held responsible for achieving success.